Good evening, everyone. I'm Kubrali, and you're watching Awaz News. Tonight, I'll be taking you to top news across Canada. Ontario's public elementary teachers vote in favor of strike mandate. Two teens arrested, two male suspects outstanding following Etobicoke carjacking. One realtor suspended after social media post that appears to make light of Israel-Hamas war. Toronto-bound Air Canada flight makes emergency landing in Houston. Man 63 charged after allegedly ripping Palestinian flag off vehicle at Pickering home. One person seriously injured in Mississauga stabbing. New bill aims to prevent name changes for convicted sex offenders in Ontario. These were the headlines, and now let's go through the details. At Queen's Park today, MPPs Laurie Scott of Halliburton, Kawartha Lakes, Brock, and Laura Smith of Thornhill introduced a private member's bill aiming to deny convicted sex offenders under Christopher's law the ability to legally change their names in the province. The move is seen as an effort to prevent these individuals from hiding their identities, with MPP Laura Smith noting no new life for these criminals. The bill is seen as a response to a loophole that has been addressed in other provinces, ensuring that sex offenders don't find avenues to reoffend or escape their past. Early this year, Ontario demonstrated its strong stance against sexual crimes by investing over $300 million in supporting victims and survivors of human trafficking. Gillian Freeman, Executive Director of Victim Services of York Region, highlighted the significance of the amendment, emphasizing the prioritization of survivors' rights and needs. Various police associations, including those in Ottawa, Smiths Falls, and the Niagara region, have voiced their support for the bill, emphasizing its importance for community safety and victim protection. The bill is slated for its second reading on November 14, 2023. The union representing the province's public English elementary school teachers has announced that its members have voted 95% in favor of a strike mandate as negotiations continue. This strong strike mandate sends a very clear message to government, Elementary Teachers Federation of Ontario ETFO President Karen Brown said in a press release. Our members have been working for over a year without a contract and their patience has run out, she continued. We need the government to stop stalling and start negotiating seriously on our members' key priorities like providing more supports for students with special needs, acknowledging the staffing crisis in education, putting a fair compensation offer on the table, and addressing violence in schools. This strike mandate does not guarantee that ETFO members will be engaging in work to rule strike action or heading to the picket lines, but the union now has that option if negotiations stall. Labor negotiations will continue in the days and weeks to come. Strike votes were called by ETFO and Ontario English Catholic Teachers Association (OECTA) in September after both unions rejected the province's offer to take outstanding issues at the bargaining table to binding arbitration. The Ontario Secondary School Teachers Federation (OSSTF) is the only one of the four main teachers' unions that agreed to the province's offer. OECTA is holding its strike votes on Wednesday and Thursday. Speaking to reporters at Queen's Park, Education Minister Stephen Lecce reiterated his call to ETFO to accept the province's arbitration offer. Lecce pointed out that 80% of OSSTF members voted in support of the province's proposal. Lecce is hopeful that ETFO and the remaining education unions will accept the province's offer to avoid a strike. Ontario Green Party leader Mike Schreiner expressed support for potential strike action in a press release. Toronto police have arrested two teenage boys aged 14 and 16 and are looking for two other male suspects after a vehicle was carjacked early this week in North Etobicoke. The incident happened in Rexdale near Albion and Martin Grove roads on Monday. Police said that they were called to that area at around 8:45 p.m. for reports of a carjacking. They alleged that the victim and passenger were driving in a 2023 Hyundai Elantra in a residential area when four males in a dark-colored sedan drove up closely behind them and stuck their vehicle. Investigators said that the suspect vehicle then nudged the Hyundai from behind when the victim pulled over to allow them to pass. When the victim exited their vehicle to check for damage, the four suspects approached the victim while brandishing a firearm, police said. They then allegedly demanded that the victim hand over the keys to their vehicle. A struggle ensued before the suspects fled the scene in the victim's vehicle while the other vehicle followed, police said. The victim sustained minor injuries while the passenger was unhurt. Police further alleged that, at the time of the arrest, one suspect was in possession of a loaded gun and the keys to the stolen vehicle. Two boys aged 14 and 16 are each facing several charges. The youths, who cannot be named under the provisions of the Youth Criminal Justice Act, are set to appear in court on October 19 and 18 respectively. The two outstanding suspects are only described as black males in their early teens, around 5'9", and wearing dark clothing. A 63-year-old man has been charged after allegedly damaging a Palestinian flag in Pickering on Tuesday. Durham police said they were initially called to the Finch Avenue and Brock Road area around 6 p.m. for reports of an armed person. An unknown man allegedly entered the driveway of a home, ripped a Palestinian flag off a vehicle, and left a note with an offensive message. When the homeowner confronted the male, a struggle ensued and the victim suffered a minor injury to his hand from the suspect's key, police said. Witnesses stepped in and restrained the man before calling the police. Shortly after, officers arrived and arrested the man without incident. On Wednesday, police identified the suspect as Howard Cooper of Pickering. He has been charged with assault with a weapon and mischief. Police said Cooper was released on an undertaking. They noted that investigators are in communication with the Ministry of Attorney General's office to ascertain if the charges meet the threshold for a hate crime. In light of the recent global events that have amplified concerns and uncertainties, we want to reassure our community that we are deeply committed to ensuring the safety and welfare of all our residents, police said in a statement. We are actively collaborating with our faith-based leaders and communities to foster understanding and unity. Tensions have been high in Jewish and Palestinian diaspora communities around the world, including the GTA, since the start of the war. Police have said that they are stepping up security around places of worship, community gathering places in light of security concerns related to the war. A person has been seriously injured in Wednesday afternoon stabbing in Mississauga, Peel police say. Police said they were called to the area of Ceremonial Drive and Heritage Hills Boulevard shortly after 2:20 p.m. for stabbing. A victim described by police as an adult was located with serious but non-life-threatening injuries, they said. A female suspect was seen fleeing the area, police said. She's described as white and in her 30s with black and brown hair and was last seen wearing a black jacket. Anyone with information is asked to contact Peel Regional Police Service or Crime Stoppers anonymously. An Air Canada flight heading toward Toronto from Mexico City had to make an emergency landing in Houston last week. On Friday, October 13, the plane carrying 166 passengers experienced reduced cabin air pressure due to a fault with aircraft's air conditioning, according to the Canadian airline. As per our standard operating procedures, the pilots brought the aircraft below 10,000 feet and the oxygen mask deployed, but their use was not required as there was sufficient oxygen in the cabin, Air Canada spokesperson Peter Fitzpatrick told Awaz News in a statement Wednesday. The pilot requested an emergency landing in the order to obtain priority and secure a slot to land in Houston since the stop was not scheduled. The Boeing 737 MAX aircraft landed safely and there were no injuries. A real estate brokerage has suspended a Vaughan-based realtor who was allegedly behind a social media post that appeared to make light of the ongoing Israel-Hamas war. The post was made over the weekend on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram accounts belonging to Vadim Wilensky, the broker of record and CEO of Realtron, Vadim Wilensky Realty. It was titled, "Coming Soon to the Market," followed by two laughing face emojis and includes a photo of several buildings in Gaza that were destroyed by bombs. That image is overlaid by following text: "Off market, 130 square miles, oceanfront lot, no utility, no power, water." The post has since been removed and Wilensky's accounts on social media platforms appear to have been deleted or disabled. Since the beginning of the Israel-Hamas war on October 7th, more than 4,000 people on both sides and conflict have died, and the United Nations has warned of a growing humanitarian crisis in Gaza. Remax Canada deeply disagrees with the actions and sentiments of Mr. Wilensky. Our business is a franchise organization made up of hundreds of independently owned and operated real estate offices, and each Remax broker and agent is an independent contractor, including Mr. Wilensky. the company wrote in a statement provided to Awaz News. The Toronto Regional Real Estate Board, which represents more than 73,000 licensed real estate brokers and salespersons in and around the Greater Toronto Area, said it is aware of the social media posts in question and has launched a formal professional standards investigation. Thank you for tuning in. I'm Kubra Ali. I'll see you back tomorrow, same time, same channel. Until then, good night.